Hello, today we're going to show how to replace the control arms on a 1997 GEO-Metro LSI. It has a 1.3 4-cylinder engine. Up until now, all I've done is raise the vehicle up and remove the tires, and of course put the jack stands underneath. The part that's going to be replaced today, the main part, is this. This is a brand new control arm. I have the left and the right one. The ball joint already comes attached. Has this protective cap on it. And that's about it. That's all it comes with. And of course the two brand new bushings. The one that the car has is, and if you can see it, it's right in here. This is it right here. And if you can see right back there, this bushing is shot. It's got a piece coming off of it and it's pretty worn down. I can imagine the one in the back is the same way. So you replace these in pairs. I don't think it's recommended that you change just one at a time. If one is shot, I'm pretty sure the other one is too. And by the way, on this side of the vehicle, this is the right side, the passenger side, the tire is getting balded out pretty bad. And I was wondering what the heck was causing that. And it turns out when I got under there to change this, which is the hose, the pressure hose for the brakes, that's when I saw the bad bushings on the control arm. So that's gonna go also. And well, next, and I also I sprayed some WD-40 to loosen up some of the bolts before I get started, and that should help a bit. Well, there's a change of plans on the lower control arm change. I also found that the brakes were shot, the pads, so I went and got brand new pads, nice and thick. See that? Nice brand new pads, how they look. So I'm going to change both the brake pads, left and right of course. And while I'm in there, I went ahead and got the tie rod ends. I don't know if you can see that. There's a left and a right tie rod end. And this is the stabilizer bar. It's like a tie rod. It's a links to the stabilizer bar. You're supposed to have two of these, one on the left, one on the right, but they didn't have another one, and I didn't want to wait around for a next day delivery, so I just have the bushings. So on one it's going to have the whole assemblies new, and the other one is going to be the bushings. It is the bushings that usually go bad, so this is going to be changed. Stabilizer bar, the link, the brakes, pads, the tie rods, and of course the lower control arm. All on a 1997 GEO-Metro LSI with a 1.3 4-cylinder engine. Air conditioning, automatic transmission, and as you can see, I already pulled out the pads, the old pads. They're out of there, and that can wait. Doesn't have to be done now. I'm just going to go ahead and start taking out the control arm. This is a much closer view of where the passenger side control arm is located and what I'm going to do. Here's the caliper for the brakes. I took it out, and it's always a nice idea to, I mean, I am changing the pad, so I mean, I just want to get it out of the way right now. So you can just use a piece of clothes hanger or whatever, and I just tied it up here to the spring, and it's just to get it out of my way so it's not dangling around and putting any force on the hose, on the pressure hose. So again, here's the control arm. Let me try to get closer. that's the wear I was talking about earlier. As you can see right there, all of that's shot. Sorry about the camera going in and out of focus. I changed the lens. I put a macro lens on. I guess it doesn't like that. Okay, here's the tie rod is almost out. I removed the that main bolt right there, and the ball joint got pulled out from here. By loosening this, that nut there, that screw, and just sits up in there. See? Now it's good to have this tool right here. Okay, nice for smashing out and popping out ball joints. That's what I did. I put it in between the ball joint and here, and I hammered it out, and it pops right out. Alright, now even though that's out, the stabilizer bar link is out and the ball joint is out. I still have to work on the back with the other bushing. It has like a flange holding it with 2 bolts, and it's always good to squirt some WD-40 on everything. And so I'm going to be working on that next, and then this whole arm will drop right out. Okay, got the control arm out. This is the old one. As you can see, there's the old ball joint, and this back piece doesn't look too bad. It's a solid piece of rubber, but it was the front one that the front bushing that was all messed up. I didn't break that off. That was like that, and so it was time to go. Now inside the car, this is the front area. Here's the stud. Okay, and here's the bracket assembly in the back. As you can see, that's the bracket that holds that big fat square looking piece of rubber on the control arm. And once you loosen this bracket up like that, I tended to leave the bolts in place, as you can see, but you have to whack the control arm in a forward direction to get it off of that piece of stud there. Alright, these are the stabilizer links. This is the old one right here, one I took out. This is going to be the new one. Nice brand new bushing on it. See? Now the old one, to take it out was kind of a pain because this whole thing kept spinning as this nut was coming off. So I had to go in there with a vice grip and kind of grab it right there so I could keep the stud from spinning around while I took the nut off. Now the nice thing about the new one is if you look inside, it's got a hole for an Allen key. So when I install the new one, as I put the nut on, I'll be able to keep the thing from spinning around. And this is a locking nut. You can see the plastic inside of there, and it'll go on nice and snug as it's supposed to, or tight, of course. And that's just one piece of the puzzle. And here he is, where I took him out from, on the stabilizer bar. The stud will be pointing downward, of course, and that goes into the control arm. This is the bracket that holds the back part of the bushing to the control arm. Now I've read about, a lot of people say this thing gets rusted out and the bolts get all rusted, and I'm assuming that's like in northern states, in cold climates, a lot of salt and stuff on the roads. Well, this car is in a warm climate and it's not too bad at all. It came out pretty easy. The bolts don't look bad at all, no rust on them, and what I like to do, I'm not going to do it to this one because it's not in bad shape, but what you can do is scrape an old one, you know, with sandpaper, and get yourself some navel jelly. They sell it like in a Home Depot or Lowe's. Navel jelly is excellent for rust. It removes the rust. Once you remove it, you sand it down a little bit more and you just spray paint it, and it'll be like brand new. Okay, so you want to get yourself some navel jelly for rust. It's great for rust. It takes rust right off. You wait a few minutes, wipe it down. You might want to use a few coats after, you know, do it a few times, but it takes rust out just incredibly good. Okay, we finished putting in the control arm, the new brake pads. As you can see, I still have to bleed the brakes. And also there's the new tie rod end, nice brand new tie rod end, and down there is the link to the stabilizer bar and the new control arm, all installed. Took a couple of hours. I started, let's see, 9:30 and it's about 2:30. So I did have to go twice to the store. Unfortunately I stripped the bolt, putting the ball joint, the bolt that holds the ball joint in place. I stripped it, so I had to go and get a new one. So that took a little bit of time. So all in all, you can say from 9:30 to 2, and the job is done. And this would be duplicated on the other side.